What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today we're going to be going over how you can shiny hunt Gigantamax Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. As of right now, coming across a shiny Gigantamax Pokemon is truly something special. It's really a treat because it's a difficult process to replicate. In this video, I'm going over what we currently know about shiny raids, the current method to hunt shiny Gigantamax Pokemon, and the new method to hunt shiny Gigantamax Pokemon, which is about 15 times faster. I am stating right up front so everyone hears it, shiny hunting is not fun and it's not fast. It is a long, strenuous process that requires a lot of patience. As of right now, the information we know about shiny Pokemon. We know that Pokemon in raids in the wild area in their Dynamax dens can be shiny. That goes for Gigantamax Pokemon as well. The current promotion raids, whatever may currently be going on in the game, as well as the 0.165% Gigantamax Pokemon. It's unknown that if the encountered amount will affect your chance at finding a shiny den. It's unknown if the shiny charm will affect your chance of finding a shiny den. And it's unknown if there's any difference of using a wishing piece versus a natural spawn for a shiny den, although I don't think there is so much. What we do know is as soon as a raid is generated, that Pokemon is decided. The amount of stars, exactly what Pokemon it is, its IVs, its nature, its gender, and its shininess. That means that if you have a den that is shiny, you can save in front of it, encounter it. If you don't catch it, you can leave and go back in. You could also exploit that so you can join online and 3 people can join you to try to catch a shiny Gigantamax Pokemon, never go back to the overworld, close out the game, go back into the game, and boom, you can re-host that raid over and over for essentially an infinite amount of that Pokemon in 24 hours. Now, the current way that people are shiny hunting Gigantamax Pokemon in dens is essentially the method that I covered that a bunch of you have seen. You save spam in front of a raid den with your text speed on slow or medium in order to get a purple den, the 1 out of 10 chance. From there, you do a hard save, turn your autosaves off. You then enter the den. If it's not the Pokemon you want, you go online, you change the date to 1 day forward. You would do this over and over for essentially a 1.65% chance to get yourself a Gigantamax Pokemon. Now, if you were to shiny hunt that Gigantamax Pokemon, you would enter that den. If it's not the Pokemon you want, you would leave the den by closing the game out, opening the game back up, and doing the process all over again until you got a shiny Gigantamax Pokemon. The biggest problem with this method is that in order to get that Gigantamax Pokemon to spawn takes anywhere from 2 minutes to 20 minutes. I've had about 5 minutes happen several times. It's taken me almost an hour once. Still a heck of a lot better than 9 hours, that's for sure. So that's the biggest bottleneck right now, is that how long it takes to get that Gigantamax Pokemon to spawn. 20 minutes for a supposedly 1 out of 4,000 chance is not fantastic. That means worst case scenario, that 1 in 4,000 chance over 20 minutes per chance for a Gigantamax Pokemon is 80,000 minutes, 1,333 hours, or 55 days. Granted, if you have 100 people doing it, then it takes half a day, supposedly. I mean, that's how numbers work, right? However, there's been a brand new exploit found. And what this exploit does is it abuses the promoted raid system in order for you to encounter promoted Gigantamax Pokemon much faster. We're talking about once every 15 to 90 seconds, dramatically cutting down the amount of time in between when you can see if a Gigantamax Pokemon is shiny or not. All credit to this goes to a guy on Reddit called Dan J. Farris. On YouTube, he's called Mighty Intimidation. He is the first person I found on the internet 4 days ago to post this strategy, and no one has talked about it, and we need to talk about this. Before I go over exactly what Pokemon you can currently get, I'm going to once again talk about what promoted raids are, because everyone in the world seems to not know what a promoted raid is. These are the current promoted raids right now, and this is going to go until about January 15th. That means that any of these Pokemon can spawn in any den, and if you're playing solo, they are not a 100% catch rate. Of all these promoted raids that we see right here, we are going to be encountering just this. This is going to be a 5-star Butterfree, a 5-star Gigantamax Butterfree, a 5-star Corviknight, a 5-star Gigantamax Corviknight, a 5-star Centiskorch for Shield and Drednaw for Sword, and a 5-star Gigantamax Centiskorch for Shield, 5-star Gigantamax Drednaw for Sword. This strategy is most likely going to continue working into the Snorlax event and any other events going forward. Be sure to subscribe to my channel as I'm going to be posting all the current raid promotions that are going on, and the Snorlax event starts tomorrow. So if we do this right, we might be able to get Gigantamax Shiny Snorlax as early as tomorrow, which is great. The first step of this process requires you going to System Settings, Date and Time, and you're going to change your date to August 1st, 2000. And you're going to want to make it nighttime. So I'm going to make it 8 p.m. I know, you weren't expecting any of this. Fantastic. Now it's nighttime in the wild area. The reason that we changed it to August 1st is because in the wild area on August 1st, it's going to be nice sunny weather. The next step is go into Mystery Gift, and you're going to get the wild area news. Connecting, please stand by. You've connected to the internet and received the latest updates on the wild area. Time to have a go look in those dens. Updated today. Great. But what this specifically does is something special. This is going to take one promoted raid and put it somewhere in your wild area. Now, the next step is find that promoted raid. Again, these are the promoted raids that can appear in your wild area. For me, I have this 5-star Gigantamax Centiskorch. That's because I'm playing Pokemon Shield. If you're playing Pokemon Sword, this Centiskorch would be a Drednaw, who's probably a lot cooler. Now, as you're gonna see, this is a red beam. It's not a rare raid, it's a common raid. And the promoted raids can appear in the purple, but they can also appear in the red much more frequently. And the next step of this is very important. You're going to have one other raid or multiple raids in the area, and you need to clear all them out. That means you need to go in there and you need to defeat it, either online or by yourself. You can see my purple raid in the background over there. I have this one raid left in the wild area, and I have to go defeat it now. If you're at all familiar with my spamming at the one purple raid in order to get a Gigantamax Pokemon, you know that if you put in a wishing piece and you change your date, it's going to re-roll that one raid. However, if it's naturally spawned, it works a little bit different. So right here, I have a Machamp. Perfect. I have a Mew. We have a Hulk. Again, you want to clear out all of your raids so that the only raid left is the one promoted raid. That one promoted raid may be a Gigantamax Pokemon, but then again, it may not be a Gigantamax Pokemon. While it is worth noting that you can do this anytime, you're much better off doing this in the post-game. That's going to reduce the amount of non-Gigantamax Pokemon that you're going to encounter via this method. I recommend flying around, taking a look, making sure that there's no other raids other than your one promoted raid. And once you've confirmed that there's no other raids other than your one promoted raid, which is Gigantamax Centiskorch, this is when we are going to be going to any raid den, does not matter, and you're going to drop down a wishing piece. The reason that we did this is going to be our anchor. Having an anchor is important because if you don't have an anchor, then after you do this method, it's going to completely reset all your dens, and then you have 5 appearing, and then you need to take care of all of them. But by having that wishing piece den right there, it's going to remain there and you're fine. That's all the setup for this, because now we have our one promoted raid, and now we have our anchor den. From here, we're going to save directly in front of the den, and we're going to go encounter the den, because there's the chance that this den could be a shiny Pokemon. Don't invite others, some others will join the battle. It is worth noting that Gigantamax Centiskorch looks completely identical to regular Gigantamax Centiskorch, so you won't know by looking if it is a shiny. However, shiny Gigantamax Pokemon have a longer introduction animation because it takes a while for it to show that it is shiny. Now we've seen that the Centiskorch is not shiny, we're going to close the game out. You can choose to close it with X, or if you have more than one profile, which I recommend, hit Y. That's going to close the game out. You can just mash the A button and you log back in with your previously used profile. That's going to bring us exactly right back where we were. Now again, this Centiskorch is the same exact Centiskorch that we just encountered. If it was shiny, it will always be shiny in this one exact raid battle. If it's not shiny, it will never be shiny. The people that you've seen soft resetting in front of one and just encountering it over and over are doing literally nothing because it's the same one Pokemon. But now we want to re-roll this den. So we're going to invite others. Communicating, please stand by. hit the home button. Hang on, pay attention. I know you think you know what you're doing. Go to date and time and set it for exactly 1 year forward. So we're gonna set it to 2001 on August 1st. Go back into the game, hit quit. Now what we just did is we transferred to another point in time. That causes the raid den to despawn. You can do this one day, but trust me, August 1st. Now, our promoted raid just disappeared. What we have to do now is find the promoted raid. Use your right stick, give everything a quick look, and if you don't see it, fly to another location. Sometimes this spawns right next to you. Sometimes it's in the other part of the wild area. Sometimes it's in a corner of the wild area and it's super inconvenient. Boom, I already just found it. And I didn't even cut that footage right there. Now, while approaching this, there's going to be about a 75% chance that this is a promoted Gigantamax Pokemon. There's about a 25% chance, these are my numbers, not official numbers, 25% chance that is a non-Gigantamax form of one of the Gigantamax Pokemon of the promoted raids. Again, these are the Pokemon that we are hunting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press A in front of this, and boom, Gigantamax Corviknight. We're gonna save right in front of the den, and we're gonna not invite others, we're gonna go into the battle. Now that I'm experiencing that it's not a shiny Pokemon, I'm closing the game out and redoing the process over. You need to look for the raid den, and that's where the time is taking up here in addition to resetting the console. However, it's still a heck of a lot shorter, again, 1 year forward, a heck of a lot shorter than the current process. So it's kind of a trade-off. You're getting much faster Gigantamax Pokemon, but it's only limited to the current promotion raids. I personally believe that at one point or another in time, all of the Gigantamax Pokemon are going to be available in raids. I did have someone email me from France who did this method that, again, was found 4 days ago, and they were able to get themselves a shiny Gigantamax Drednaw using this method. So shout out to you, Kevin. Boom, found another den and another Gigantamax Corviknight. Save in front of the den. The reason we're saving in front of the den is because in the chance that it is shiny, these Pokemon do not have a 100% catch rate. In addition, you may want to host this raid in order for other people to join. I just want to talk about the catch rates of promoted Gigantamax Pokemon, which function differently from the naturally spawned raids. If you were to go into one of these raids, it has its own natural catch rate. However, that natural catch rate I personally believe to be modified to be similar to a legendary catch rate. You don't believe me? Go to the Pokemon catch rate calculator, type in Kyogre, who's a water type, try using a net ball, and you'll see that dust balls are better. For the host for online raids, you do have a slightly better chance to catch it. I believe that 5.5 is actually as high as 15 to 20% using dusk balls, so that's your best bet for that. We should call this the August 1st promoted raid shiny hunting trademark. And I have now just found my first non-Gigantamax Pokemon. If you ever come across a non-Gigantamax Pokemon, there's no reason to go into the battle. It's not Gigantamax, it cannot breed down the Gigantamax or anything else. So just skip the step of going into the battle and closing out the game, and then just change your date, go back in there, and once again re-find your raid. Again, I just want to reiterate that shiny hunting is not a fast process. If anyone makes a video on easy shinies, they are lying, because shinies are never easy. But the most important part now is, for the select amount of Pokemon that are promoted, you are going to be able to encounter them much more frequently than doing the method of just resetting in front of one den over and over and over and over again. Well guys, I'm going to be wrapping up this video. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, share it with someone who wants to shiny hunt Gigantamax Pokemon. And if you found a shiny Gigantamax Pokemon, feel free to tweet me, because I would love to join in on your raid. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.